Hello, everybody out there in the great wide world of sports and podcast listeners. This is the Hum Daddies. I'm Jake Lucas. I'm with Dave Greenstein. I'm with Joe Starkey. And we are your boys who provide Bay Area sports coverage. This has been a fantastic sports weekend to talk about. We are big 49ers fans. We're coming to you on a Victory Monday here for the Niners. We got Giants to get into. We got the Cal Bears to get into. We got my Sharkies to get into. A lot going on right now. It's the holiday season. How you doing, Joe Starkey?
Like you said, what a sports weekend it's been. Doing well. How about y'all?
Wins all the way around, everywhere. Can't get enough. Love it. We have a bye week coming up. I'm just gonna bask and glow.
Yeah. We'll dive into the Niners game, but also at the same time, there's a really exciting thing going down in the South Bay. Oh, hell, I guess the Niners are the South Bay now. But these Sharks, I wake up dreaming about my teal, like daydreaming about my teal in the day, dreaming at night about Celebrini and Will Smith. These kids are so goddamn exciting. And they're on right now. They're winning 6-2 against the Utah Mammoth. Nice name. And they're just a pleasure to watch. So we'll save that for later, I guess. But let's get into the Niners. Let's not bury the lead. We are now 9-4, correct?
That's right.
9-4,
But somehow seventh in the West, or in the NFC.
No, you just sent the stat, Joe. 6th, probably, maybe even 5th by the end of this weekend, and we don't even have to touch the football. So we're 7th. Only because we have to wait, but we're soon to be better.
We'll be at least 6th, so that's nice.
And there's a chance we could get as high as
2.
second.
Second, yeah. Need a Rams and a Seahawks kind of loss, yeah.
There's going to be some other teams beating each other up for the rest of the season. I'm pretty sure the Niners, for the most part, control their own destiny. Except for we need the Rams to lose one more game. If they do, the Niners are pretty close to controlling their own destiny all the way to the top of the NFC. I can't believe I'm saying it, considering where we've been in the season. But you rip off 3 straight wins, and here we are.
It's unbelievable.
The early road wins were so big against that gutty performance by Mac against the Rams, Brock's week 1 against the Seahawks. Huge. You can't explain how big those are.
Yeah, how about Nick Bosa's forced fumble against the Seahawks in Seattle? Thanks, Nick.
Yeah, big sack against New Orleans Saints, and that was a close game too that we just barely won, although that Saints team clearly isn't very good, but you could easily lose any game in the NFL, as we saw this weekend where the Panthers beat the Rams. Thank you.
Dallas Cowboys beating the 2 Super Bowl teams from last year.
They do have the number 1 offense in the league, though, Jake.
Patriots blowing out everybody. The league is crazy right now. There's so much parity. You don't know who's going to end up in the Super Bowl. Chiefs might miss the playoffs entirely. It's fun. I like it. It's not something you want to bet. So I've just shied away from NFL betting.
What's a little crazy, Jake, about the whole season right now is it feels like the quarterbacks in the NFL are like there's a lot of pretty good to very good quarterbacks in the NFL. There aren't like the standard 4 to 5 way better than everybody else. There's a lot of very good, competent quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Some are playing for better teams than others, but I mean, it's pretty crazy. And I feel like because of that, anybody can win on any given day.
Yeah, I love the parity. The parity is what the NFL has kind of mastered, and I don't know how they do it, but they do find a way to make every team pretty much where they could beat any team any week. And you just don't have that in other sports to that same degree. You don't have it in basketball. You don't have it in baseball. It's one of the things that makes the event of an NFL Sunday special. You just don't know what's going to happen.
I mean, you guys missed the Sunday night game, but Marcus Mariota put on a fucking show for the Redskins. I mean, the fact of the matter is the guy was throwing dimes all over the field. He was breaking tackles in the back just to get a pass off. It was incredible. He's a backup for the Redskins. He's been okay in his career. It's certainly,
Commanders, but yeah.
Redskins.
Try not to get canceled.
Right. But we're just watching great quarterback play from players that don't, necessarily do it week in and week out. It just shows you again, what the NFL has to offer. Any game can be a fun game to watch.
I checked in at the end of that and it went to OT. That was intense. And Denver don't they have the best record in football?
Other than the Pats, yeah.
So you guys might think our boy Dave Greenstein is very mild mannered and appropriate. He is anything but. He gets us in trouble on a weekly basis.
Every week.
Don't let the smooth taste fool you. This guy's trouble.
I like to share and I like to borrow. And I borrowed a little too many hits.
Yeah, a lot of copyright issues on Dave's behalf here.
Listen,
that's
Sam Spence and I have a long relationship that goes all the way back to the days of the Turkey Bowl. I use a lot of his quality sound there to bring forward the nostalgia of great NFL music with my friends beating the crap out of each other. And I wanted to do it again here with this pod. I've overstepped. I get it, and I will step back. Sorry, YouTube, for offending the Sam Spence music world.
No, you didn't offend anyone. It's just copyright violations, and it's happened 3 weeks in a row. But, okay, here we go. So it seems like the 49ers can just plug anyone in on that solid defense, and it works. And right now it's working better than it did with Bosa, with Warner. These guys, it's the Legion of Boom coaches. Do you guys realize this is the Seattle coaching staff that created the Legion of Boom? Saleh has a bunch of assistants that were there too. So this is this is what's happening. It's a definite program they're running over there. And I know Shanahan's getting a lot of love for Coach of the Year. This shit is not happening without Mr. Bobby Saleh and staff. These guys this defense has allowed 17 points combined in the last 2 weeks. How mind-blowing is that? That's insane.
Yeah.
It's shocking. It's really incredible. Thank God for the schedule. What Bobby Saleh's defense is doing right now is just who would have thought you lose two all-world defenders in our first round draft pick, and this is what's happening. It's just like 8 points this week, 9 points last week. It's totally under control. And you guys, these are some of the guys that are just balling out. Cleveland Farrell, Collins,
yeah.
Upton Stout, Curtis Robinson, Jordan Elliott.
Who's the guy from the
Keon White?
Yeah. Keon White.
Who? You can't
Mustafa is a
imagine.
Savage. I love that kid.
Well, Mustafa is that guy is, I can't even call him a no name. Mufasa is coming to play, baby.
People were on to him last year because he got drafted mid rounds. And I think it was Kruger probably said this kid's going to be something just from training camp last year. And
flies all over the field.
Whenever he gets a chance, dude, he is fun to watch. He's in the tradition of your Whitners and your Goldsons and your
he bangs.
He's fun.
Yeah, he comes in that safety position and hits hard. Feels that. Yeah.
Hey, beyond just the defense, the less sexy part of the Niners that's been absolutely outstanding this year is the special teams, man. The special teams has been so rock solid.
I'd say Sky Moore's pretty sexy, Dave.
Sky Moore has been, that guy knows how to break tackles. I haven't had a return man that I've been this excited about maybe ever for the 49ers. Maybe since, to your point, Jake, last week, John Taylor. But put the ball in that guy's hands on a kickoff and I get excited. Meanwhile, our kicking game has been one of the best in the league, and we haven't had the same. We've had 3 kickers in the season, one of which sucked, and he was out after week 1. So
Moody made some big ones last night for your Commanders.
Yeah, it's been pretty phenomenal. They're doing everything right now, knock on wood, and for a team where it's been seen as undervalued, the special teams, they are showing up. And maybe that's why our defense is so good, is because everyone coming out of special teams is going into the defensive unit.
Well, let's be frank, the special teams over the last few years and beyond has been shit. Terrible. It's been horrible.
The NFL.
Yeah, just flat out lousy. Sky Moore didn't even look that good when he was playing earlier in the year. He was fielding punts on the 2-yard line multiple times. Things have really just turned around, ever since Eddie came to town. And next thing you know, we're taking the initial kick down to the 2-yard line, and we're making every field goal and playing great punt coverage. Everything looks great.
We're not making big, dumb mistakes. And I think that's the thing that I homed in on at the very beginning of the season was if the Niners can avoid the late game missed kick, the this, the that just kind of breaks our heart, we're going to end up with 11 wins, 12 wins maybe. Here we are.
Yeah, I mean, we
Still
keep just banging the. Well, yeah, one more thing, just like we keep banging the coaching staff is doing so well, but they're coaching their asses off. You look at the teams they're playing, and they're making all the mistakes. We keep hitting it back across the net, and then they make the mistake. Mm-hmm. They have the unforced error. We are not making any mistakes, and we're making the other teams look just in disarray. The Carolina Panthers looked horrible against us. They just beat the Rams.
They handled the Rams. They made Matt Stafford not know what he was doing. They made him look pedestrian at best. And don't sleep on playing at Cleveland on late
cold,
November day. I mean, that is not an easy win. That was the first Niners win at Cleveland since 1984, the year I was born, the year Gypper was born.
That's wild.
I mean, Starkey was already like 5 by then, but
I wasn't thinking we were going to win that game from the start. I was a little
still
scared.
living in Minnesota at the time.
Yeah.
1-year-old Starkey here.
But
good stat, Jake.
Yeah. And they made Carolina look pathetic. Just a masterful job by Bobby Saleh and crew. But back to Sky Moore, people who were watching him in practice said it was only a matter of time until he'd break one. And now that's, multiple weeks in a row. He's just really looked dangerous out there. And it's fun to watch, man. It is fun.
Having that as an X factor, it's kind of like the Devin Hester experience where you're just like, we know we have that in our back pocket. It's always a possibility that if he breaks one, we're back in this football game. And so having a 3 and out, getting as many punts as you can, get off the field and let Sky Moore have a shot, whether it be on a kickoff or any other situation. It's such a cool thing for the Niners.
And the Sky Moore trade was Sky Moore for a 2027 Niners 6th rounder, and we got a 7th rounder back. Oh, hell of a trade, John Lynch. These guys really know what they're doing more than us pedestrian fans sometimes, So.
Yeah, give that scout a raise. That was a hell of a move. And Jay, to your point, this Cleveland Browns defense at Cleveland on a cold and windy day, that's no small feat. They got the Defensive Player of the Year on their team.
I think they're the number 1 D-line in football.
I know they look ferocious.
Yeah.
And we just let our defense win that game. It was a masterful piece of coaching.
It wasn't too goddamn shabby either, honestly.
Not too shabby, okay. But they weren't putting themselves to make a mistake. They played a smart game.
Yeah, it was game management 101. Brock Purdy made the important third down connections. He didn't get, the big giant play, but I think he was probably told after last week, maybe on the road in Cleveland on a windy day, we just stick to the short passes and the sure thing. And when he focuses on what he needs to do to just get the job done on the win, I think reeling him in a little bit this week was probably for
right out the gate, the use check dime was nice. That was like a nice little lob, and Kittle had some good downfield catches. Purdy didn't have to just completely Alex Smith the thing and throw 2-yard outs to running backs.
True.
By the way,
he threw some dimes.
I thought he was going to have a total dud because I was watching the game late and I said, hey guys, don't give me any false information. Don't give away what happened here. I'm just a little bit behind on DVR time. And you guys are just talking about, Purdy looks terrible. Oh no, I won't tell you about the Brock Purdy interceptions. Anyway, so I was like, here it comes. He's gonna throw an interception. Here it is. The whole first half. I kept going. It's probably about the time when that Brock Purdy interception situation happens here. No, never happened.
That was all the first 5 minutes of the game. After that use check completion, they went 3 and out, and I was like,
Joe, you got to check those timestamps, man. Come on.
For the entire first half, I was waiting for a Brock Purdy interception.
No, he had a hell of a game. He had some swag. He showed that he can dance a little in the end zone, and he blew Kittle's mind. That was fun.
I was also impressed by old Trent Williams playing against Myles Garrett. You know what? He came to play. Myles Garrett is incredible, the best defensive player in all of the NFL right now, and he did okay. He did pretty good.
And you know what Myles Garrett and another guy on Cleveland had to say? Their postgame was about how Juwan Jennings is a piece of shit, which isn't great.
I mean, I could have guessed that, you.
Juwan Jennings is the Draymond Green of the San Francisco 49ers.
I mean,
Yes.
but he doesn't have Draymond Green's pelts on the wall, you know? Like, come on, dude.
He
You
doesn't
gotta have
yet.
hardware before you start talking like that.
Nah, Draymond did it at a young age. That's how he got into
Draymond's a Hall of Famer. You think Juwan Jennings is going to the NFL Hall of Fame?
I'm just saying that is what he is right now, in terms of like being the antagonizing type guy. I'm not saying that he is Draymond Green. He is the Draymond Green of our team. Like,
I don't mind it. I don't mind it, Dave. I like it. We got to have a little salt with our sugar on this team. Like, he's a great balance to all these joyous white guys we have running around out there. We got the enforcer. It's great.
Yeah, I saw a Juszczyk a tweet he did. He was like, I caught my first pass and 300th pass both at the Brown Stadium. I'm from around Cleveland or something. And McCaffrey's like, love you, bro. That's awesome, bro. Kittle, chimes in. They got this like core of white dudes that always hang out. It's good to have, remind people this is the NFL.
Yeah.
I grew up in Richmond, California. I know brothers run the show in that sport. So let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Well, speaking of brothers, hey, what are you guys drinking? What are you wearing?
Yeah. Start with Joey.
I'll start. Jake Lucas here has a beautiful tree in the background. I love the Christmas spirit back there, and I call this Manhattan season myself. Have a nice bourbon cocktail and the Luxardo cherry.
Mm-hmm.
It's how late November and December's got to be in my book. And I am sporting a Cal Bears Jason Kidd jersey, one of my heroes from my childhood. The Cal basketball team is looking pretty good. They got one loss. I think they're 7-1, and they just beat a ranked opponent, UCLA, for the first time in like 6 years. Mark Madsen's Cal Bears might be worthy of a couple views. So I'm getting excited about this year. Yeah. I mean, the only problem is we play in the ACC. We got to play Duke, got to play North Carolina, Louisville, a bunch of good teams.
That's a conference now.
I say we go get some Cal Bear tickets. We bring the fam out, the kids, and go see a game.
Starkey doesn't enjoy you always saying bring the fam, okay? Sometimes it just needs to be us.
I only say that because I took
breaks from their family, Dave.
My daughter likes sports, okay? She's got into hockey. I took her to a basketball game.
She's 2, Dave.
And she loves it. Well, maybe
I will say I did bring the kiddo. I brought the kid last year, and it was like loud as can be. I don't know why. There's like pumping in the speakers and just the DJ or the band. It's just going, and we had the headphones on. He was just like, too loud, Dad. I can't do it. But it was a fun time. But I was thinking more of a dad's time,
Yeah, and hey, we can bring the kids to Memorial Stadium for a Cal football game. You won't hear anything. Crickets. Even in a huge win. Dave, what are you wearing? What are you drinking? I'm going to get my drink.
You're going to go while I'm going to tell you what I'm drinking? All right, well.
That's what he thinks about you, sir.
I'm having a delicious Anderson Valley Classic Boont Amber Ale. I picked up a 12-pack while I was in Mendocino this last week. Mendocino, by the way, is one of my favorite places to go take a vacation when I don't want to have anything to do with family or friends. When I want some me time, I took my family. But it was just fantastic. The beaches are giant, wide open. You can bring a dog anywhere you want. Drinks are good. There's just fish places all over that are really good, right by the sea. It is awesome. I love it up there. Highly recommend it. And
I'm a big Boont Amber fan, by the way. Oh, did you complete the set?
I got a new addition here, guys. A new stained glass to add to the ever-growing one here. Bay Area, Golden Gate Bridge. This is a nice one.
Okay, while that's beautiful, I'm looking at a Giants stained glass window and a 49ers stained glass window, and I was very excited to see a different team potentially as the third one.
I haven't found a good Warriors one yet, Joe. I'm still looking around the interwebs.
I think Joe was looking for the Sharks.
Sharks are rising, man.
That's great, though. I love it. Dave, I like the theme you got going, like the kind of makeshift stained glass thing you got going. It's cool. Create a temple to our podcast.
Well, there's a reason why. There's a reason why. My mom did stained glass for pretty much most of my young childhood, and she did a whole themed session of a bunch of different stained glass windows that all had to do with like fairy tales or like the cow jumping over the moon. So I have one in my house. My sister has one. She has a bunch. They're all over. They're pretty cool. But
so I had Thanksgiving with your old buddies Jack McKnight and Randy Minix. And you came up actually as a funny tale. The only time anyone would drop a deuce would be to go to your house. And sometimes Randy said sometimes he'd see your mom in there painting or making stained glass.
In the bathroom?
No, at your house. So I guess Dave's house at lunchtime for the grade younger than me was a very popular place to go and relieve yourself.
If you'd like to go look at my mom's stained glass, she did the stained glass window at that house. That house has one still in front, still there today. She put it in the front. So if you want to do a Google image, or go drop yourself down on, you could have a look. Anyway,
he said it was usually all good, but you wouldn't know if she'd be there painting or if you might catch a Hobdos and Young Greenstein. So
Jake, what are you drinking? What are you wearing?
So I just want to emphasize what I'm wearing. This is my proudest investment as a 41-year-old wearing. I used to not believe, I'm a big jersey guy, but I never believed in wearing guys who are like younger than you. But then I got over that, because
unless it's less than half your age, maybe.
Well, this guy's less than half my age. His name is Macklin Celebrini. Boom, boom, and they have been just an absolute joy to watch. Can't wait to rock the sweater to a Sharks game. Haven't been to one since me and Danny used to go for Sharks Rangers every year. I think we took last year off, but yeah, that'll be fun. It's just a real pain to get down there and back on a night, especially a weekday night.
Do you take your kids to a game?
We're talking about a matinee, so maybe.
I know we should have gone Black Friday, dude. It made all the sense in the world.
Big mistake.
Yeah.
Should have done it. I gotta say, Jake, I think that was a clean purchase. The new black Shark jersey with just the fin. I took a look at it and I was like, that's a nice sweater.
Yeah.
So good on you. Me personally, I kind of want the old 1991 teal with the little gray that doesn't have all the weird stuff on the sleeves.
Yeah.
It's the original, like the Archer's Herbe, San Jose Sharks early 1990s when they were playing at the Cow Palace.
Yeah, Mitchell and Ness throwback.
Yeah.
For sure.
Do the Sharks do a bunch of alternate jerseys, kind of like the way the NBA comes out with 45 different jerseys a season? No.
They got a nice set of 4 or so like that. Yeah.
What'd you think of
I remember they had like a St. Patrick's Day one once, which was really cool. It was like a green, like not teal, but like a St. Patrick's Day green with shamrocks on it. I remember Big Joe's version of that was really popular for fans to have. Nice. And then for drinking, guys, look at this thing. I love my energy drinks.
Goat fuel?
Goat
fuel. Is it urine?
Yeah, this is not your first goat fuel adventure, I don't think.
It is very urine colored.
And you got Jerry there in his like mid 90s uniform.
That's such a random can. That's such a cool can. How did you find that?
It just caught my eye at Andronico's on Shattuck in Berkeley. So
wow.
It reminds me of that
right now because it's too late to drink an energy drink.
I was gonna say it's a bit much.
Yeah,
makes sense.
It reminds me of that Jerry Rice meme that's going around on the internet where he's got 2 Megatron careers like stacked up on top of each other.
One of those.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
I've been getting into a lot of Jerry Rice, and lately, also I sent you guys a link, Latrell Sprewell highlights, like 2 of the guys I worshipped growing up. And I mean, it is pretty unreal what Jerry Rice did in a running back dominated league where, the passers weren't protected and Jerry Rice's stats were still that. It's fucking mind blowing, honestly.
It is.
And he wasn't that big. I also got into him because Barry Bonds talked about working out with him on a podcast I listened to with Bonds. He worked out with Jerry Rice. Ricky Waters worked out with Jerry Rice. Anyone who wanted to have like a career year had trained with Jerry Rice in their off season.
Run up the Rice Hill.
Yeah. Fascinating stuff. For all you Bears sports fans, get in there and listen to some podcasts featuring Barry Bonds, Ricky Waters, Jerry Rice, Sprewell. Can't go wrong.
I gotta say, Jerry Rice is the original GOAT. I think is what I recall. I think
Yeah.
John Gruden came up with the term. He still doesn't get enough credit. Like I don't hear Jerry Rice
No.
his name enough. He's just so much better than anybody in his era at his position that he just like we should be talking about Jerry on a regular basis about being the best wide receiver of all time.
We just give too much credit. It's like the third tier, right? The first tier is quarterback, second tier is running back, and then wide receivers are the third tier. And because he's the third tier, he doesn't get as much acclaim.
No, that's not it, Dave. So everyone used to call Jerry Rice the greatest football player of all time. That used to be a well-known thing. I don't know if you guys remember that. He was like,
yeah, I remember John Gruden came up with the GOAT thing.
And it wasn't the
first time I heard
it. He was known as like, hey, that's the Michael Jordan of football. And then you had, I mean, even I was like, Randy Moss, I was like, he's better than Jerry Rice just because I wasn't there for all of Jerry Rice's run. And Randy Moss is way more physically impressive just in person. He's a big, gangly 6'4", run a crazy 40.
Leaping capabilities were out of this world. Yeah.
Yeah, but for Jerry Rice being only 6 feet, like 180 pounds, that even adds to it that much more to have a receiver at that size. Apparently his work ethic was crazy. My dad always said his rookie year, everyone wanted him to get cut because he couldn't catch a pass. I mean, he has a story. I think it'll be featured a lot on that new Niners documentary coming out next year that Tom Brady's producing. But you're right. Rice needs to be talked about a lot more.
And Jake, just to clarify, I wasn't saying that Jerry Rice isn't the GOAT. I'm just saying the reason why he doesn't get talked about that much is because there's no one to compare him to, really. Is there? Like, there's no wide receiver you can really compare him to. I think you even sent the stat with Megatron, where like Megatron's entire career is the first half of Jerry Rice's career, statistically.
And Rice in his second half of the Niners and like Raiders for a few years
was another
Hall of Fame career. Two Hall of Fame careers.
Right. And so because of that, it's really hard to compare him to anybody in the wide receiving world. And you're not going to really compare him apples to apples with a running back or a quarterback. And I think that's why he just gets left out of the conversation regularly.
No, Mike Evans last year like tied him for most 1,000-yard seasons in a row or something. And Rice's name was getting brought up. And I was like, if you fucking idiots think there's any comparison between Mike Evans and Jerry Rice, like Mike Evans would have 1,012 yards in a 17-game season for 2 years in a row. And I'm like, how does that compute? How can you put that side by side to Jerry Rice with Roger Craig on his team, with John Taylor on his team, with a league that doesn't protect quarterbacks having 1,800 yards receiving and 20 touchdowns? So Mike Evans has 1,002 yards in 17 games in this, flag football era. There's no comparison, not even close.
Yeah, I think one of the things that struck me about watching Rice highlights recently was just his quickness and yards after the catch. He would catch like a slant and he was gone. Boom. It wasn't like terribly impressive in a way that was like somebody leaping over wide receiver and stiff arming him, just like, in some kind of Megatron fashion where it's just like physically unbelievable. He was just like slippery smooth, done with that piece of work. Let's move on to the next thing.
And I remember growing up, people talking about the distinction in 40 times, like at combines and stuff, compared, like Jerry Rice had game speed that was adrenaline fueled and like you couldn't time it at a practice or a combine. His 40 time wasn't as fast as it was in game. His breakaway speed in game was another level due to the adrenaline and like the rush of the situation.
Yeah, he never struck me, even watching his highlights and everything else, of being like that fast. He just ran his route so perfectly.
Yes.
He knew exactly how to get into that. He knew exactly how to draw a guy in a certain direction. I remember there being cool highlights of him like using a referee to almost get a screen. He'd run by, like, he was doing all these things that guys used to not really ever do, and he was very creative in the way he would get around.
He was a technician.
Get open.
Yeah,
totally.
His
and I would say if
there's
the closest comp I'd say right now in the NFL has got to be Justin Jefferson to Jerry Rice. He still has a long way to go to be really talked about in that manner. But as far as putting up statistics and being extremely technical in the way he runs routes and gets open a lot. And he hasn't had a good quarterback, a great quarterback. He's had good quarterbacks. He hasn't had a great quarterback throwing to him.
Jefferson's
Kirk
more
Cousins
of a
was
freak,
okay.
though. He's more gifted athletically and like body wise.
He might be a little bit, but about size wise, he's about the same size as Jerry Rice.
He's
Maybe
not
he's
6 feet,
faster.
180, dude. Justin Jefferson's definitely bigger than that.
He's 6'1", 194, so he has an inch and 15 pounds.
I mean, I guess Jerry did have some pretty good quarterbacks throwing to him, but he also was not getting any hollow stats. Like, this is the San Francisco 49ers, and they're winning most games. So he's not getting like a bunch of garbage time stats at the end of the game,
Although on Shanahan teams, he probably would have had way more stats because he would have played until the fucking went down to 0 in the fourth.
Sure as shit, yes.
But I guess Bill Walsh and Seifert liked keeping guys healthy. What are you going to do? Okay. Well, I mean, that was good. I like it. And then Jerry, anytime we can talk vintage Niners, Giants, or Warriors, I'm all for it. I think Hum Daddy's listeners are all for it too. But do you want to move on to this, what the Giants said, or the rumor about the Giants not wanting to sign this Japanese pitcher?
I do and I don't. But let's do it. Get into it, Jake. Give us the lowdown on this garbage decision.
Well, you present the story. I'll create my anger.
You want me to give the down low on it?
Yeah. Well, Giants are rumored to. Go ahead if you know it.
No, you do it.
No,
you do it.
No, you do it.
Dave, you present the story. I give the take. Let's go.
The Giants had an opportunity to sign one of the premier right-handed pitchers out of Japan, and they have an opportunity to be a front runner to negotiate. They have elected to, in essence, stay away from this, probably because of price. But the reality is no one can really understand why, as this particular player, is it Tatsui? I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the last name.
Like Ime or something?
Ime? Yeah.
I think I'm butchering that. That's why I didn't want to say it.
Yeah, he's got. Yeah, right. Well, we'll get to the phonetic spelling here momentarily, but said Japanese player doesn't want to play for the Dodgers. In fact, wants to go after and be better than and beat the Dodgers with all of their Japanese stars, which is pretty amazing that someone would say that out loud, let alone do it. And moreover, that puts the Giants in as the front runner because you get to play the Dodgers that many more times and you get to potentially win a World Series and stick it to them the best you possibly can.
So
go ahead.
Tatsuya Imai or Ime, one of them. And it's all because of cost, apparently. The Giants don't want to commit to a 9-figure contract for a guy who has publicly said he wants to take on Shohei and that whole Dodgers operation hoarding the Japanese players. He wants to go against like his buddies probably and have like a nice competitive thing that would just juice up the Giants versus Dodgers rivalry that much more. And that would be so awesome for both the Giants and the Dodgers and Major League Baseball.
Hey, Jake, do you think a juiced-up rivalry might make you a few bucks on jersey sales?
Yeah. Apparently, the Dodgers have already gotten all the money back, which they haven't even spent yet, on Shohei. Because it's a great investment.
Have you noticed that other Japanese players have decided to join forces on the Dodgers? And if you think you added a Japanese player to the Giants, do you think maybe, perhaps, I don't know, they might find a few more Japanese players who want to come on board?
Yeah, it makes too much sense for the Giants to go at this guy, and he publicly said he wants to play for the Giants. So I hope this is a negotiation tactic, so they don't have people trying to outbid them or something, because it makes zero sense if they actually lay off of this guy. I looked up his stats in Japan, and it's like sub-2 ERA, and he has a great reputation. It would be so fun to see him go at the Dodgers and then recruit a couple of his guys over and just see Japan versus Japan in the NL West. It would be so much fun, and that news today really, really disappointed me.
Well, I agree with you. The Japanification of baseball is best seen on the West Coast because it's the closest to Japan time-wise. You're going to get the most fans tuning in to watch, more than likely. I guess maybe not actually. Maybe at that point you might as well watch for breakfast in the East Coast.
It's weird. Matsui was like the groundbreaking big stud, the first one in Japan, and he played on the Yankees. So.
Well, first hitter, first guy who came with a bat, because usually there's always a few pitchers. Then there's been quite a few pitchers that have come over.
Matsui was way bigger than like Nomo and stuff.
That's true.
Yeah, but don't sleep on Nomo. Nomo was pretty impactful in terms of Japanese draw at the time. Like that was a new thing.
Yeah, for sure. But Matsui was a way bigger prolonged story.
And then very shortly after, Ichiro came in and blew them both away.
Ichiro was obviously the best out of all of them. Yeah.
Yeah, but like when Nomo came with that crazy windup, it was just felt like very foreign from anything we had seen before.
Hey now.
It was foreign.
It was
literal and figurative.
He's definitely etched in my memory. I mean, as a Giants fan, I remember him pitching against Will Clark and Bonds very well.
That splitter was nasty.
The Dodgers have a tradition of bringing in the foreigners. Fernando Mania.
The Giants had a Japanese pitcher in like the 60s, though, that I think was before all these guys.
We talked about this. Tim Lincecum is Filipino.
No,
I think that was part of the genius. Part of the genius of the Dodgers, whether they meant to do it or not. They have like so many Mexican fans because of Fernando, and now they have all these Japanese fans.
Because they built a park on top of a Mexican neighborhood.
And because it
doesn't seem to matter
2 hours
now
north of Mexico.
Yeah. Well, the Giants brought in Dominicans. Like the Alou brothers were a big deal back in the day. You can think, and Marichal. Cepeda. Giants have a big, or maybe not Marichal, it's Cepeda, yeah. The Giants have a huge Dominican part in the rise of the Dominican Republic in baseball. Huge part.
What have the Mets ever done? I feel like the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Giants.
They did coke and bang hookers in the clubhouse and won a World Series.
The Miracle Mets at it again.
They brought you the likes of Lenny Dykstra, Doc Gooden, and Darryl Strawberry. How could you not love those?
I guess the Mets aren't a good comp because they're not as old of a franchise as the three, classic New York teams.
No,
they're actually a compound of the two that left.
Yeah, right. But they aren't a compound of them with respect to. No, but they're not a good comp in terms of them being older franchises that are breaking boundaries, like the Dodgers. It's funny how
they're kind of like the way our friends who are A's fans always felt. Well, now they're gone, but just disappointed every year. That's the Mets. Disappointed.
Gosh,
every year.
I'm just coming to the realization they also brought in Jackie Robinson on the Dodgers, so they got Jackie Robinson. Figure that one out? Yeah. Well, they it's kind of impressive that they've brought in the Jackie Robinson, Fernando Valenzuela, and Shohei. That's crazy.
Fernando Valenzuela the first Mexican player ever? I don't think so.
What's that?
He's not the first Mexican dude in the MLB ever.
Oh no, I don't think so. But he's
Dodgers loving bullshit. I don't want to hear it.
I'm just saying, in terms of ticket sales, I can see why they have such a large following because they got a big tent.
Well, it's LA. It's a diverse place, just like San Francisco. So stop fucking hoarding your money, Giants.
I'll be pitching the Big Ten if we can get this Japanese baseball player. So let's go ahead and pitch some tents out there, other than just Cirque du Soleil in the parking lot.
Yeah, really, dude. I mean, the article Andy Baggerly wrote about this kept mentioning Mission Rock. It's like more of a real estate investment group than owners of a baseball team. It's and they brought in some PE firm that is now like cutting costs. It's the outlook isn't good if this is real. Like you can't shy away from competition. I mean, they hired the most competitive possible president of baseball operations, Buster Posey.
It's crazy too,
so
Jake. To think
makes ownership get their heads out of their goddamn asses and start signing people.
To be that nearsighted, to not recognize they were just printing money during the years of Lincecum, Kane, Bumgarner, Posey, Pence. I mean, this team was, I don't remember how many straight seasons of sellouts, but I think it was about 3 or 4. I don't care what it cost to build that stadium. They were just hand and foot getting cash, big time money, big time playoff runs. It was insane. And so to not understand that and to realize how important it is to have a team that you can feel that brings the fans up. Yeah, you still got to win and you can't just buy a victory, although these days more so than ever you can. To not see though that you got to spend a little bit to get some back, wherever you're going to spend it. I don't know. Maybe you spend it on some better scouts and you go find that young talent somewhere else and you go bring it in. But whatever it is, the Giants need to get back to it because homegrown talent, I think, brings the long-term fans, but buying talent will at least get you by for a while.
Yeah, I mean, you hope the Giants brass think they have the incentive to win games. I mean, they might just say, hey, let's just be good enough. And we have a strategy that's going to give us some decent income. So maybe we'll just kind of, play around the margins and be a decent wild card team for the next amount of years, and that should be good enough. We're the only team in Northern California now, and that should be we should have good revenue. So why do we want to risk it? Is it worth the risk?
My hope is that as like what happened last year, Buster Posey now has the reins. He doesn't have control of the money, although he is a small owner.
Really, I didn't know that.
If he really, he has a small stake in the team. If he really likes a guy, I'm sure he can convince the Johnsons to lend out the cash. However, the new private equity firm that bought 10% of the team, I think it became official in the offseason, is what gives me worry. Because what does PE do? They, just examine everything. And, I've been in meetings with those guys, with Flannery, and they're not going to just, give cash out on the hopes of a dream. It has to be kind of fit there.
No, you want your owners emotional. You want them, with some bravado. You want a Joe Lacob. You want a Joe Lacob that is both smart and has,
an robotic.
Ego. And you want your owner to have an ego and want to be known for something and be.
You want them legacy driven. Legacy driven owners are the best owners. They can also be the worst ones at times because they can drive you crazy, like Jerry Jones. But you want the legacy draw because that makes them give a shit about every last thing. I mean, look at the Dallas Mavericks and what Mark Cuban did for them. I mean, he came in there with a dream to own a basketball team, did it, and brought them from nothing to one of the most, best franchises, from a middle market standpoint in the game and so the league. It's incredible what a great ownership group can do. And yeah, Jake, to your point, if you've got guys there that are, looking at financial models and trying to model how you're going to win with money, and the baseball team is just
part of it. Yeah, it's win with money.
It's win with how do we find enough wins to make money? It's about
the real estate development project, and it's not about anything else with the 10% that just invested.
Yeah, investors typically like to understand the risk and make money, and I've seen it and I'm in it, so I get it. But also, it's bad. It's bad for sports.
I think we've all had a taste of that, and it's all really gross when it's combined with sports. That's not what sports are for, and I hate that aspect of our current.
Well, what happens is the great team always comes first, and then the real estate comes later and kills the team. Even though the real estate is supposed to be there to support the team that was great and continue to let them be great, but that's not what happens. Somebody just comes in there, sucks all the money out of it, and then leaves you high and dry with a bunch of real estate around you in a shitty team.
Yeah, winning makes money. Memories make money. Keep it simple when it comes to sports. Stop, overcomplicating things with all these other investors in there that don't know shit about the Giants or baseball or the rivalry. And let's sign some goddamn guys. You got plenty of money to do it. Just do it.
So the other thing I want to bring up, guys, is I kind of alluded to earlier, is the business of baseball problems are not over. I am foreshadowing, or not just me, I think everybody knows that there's a big labor agreement deadline for December 2026. Correct. So we got 1 year of baseball here in 2026 to enjoy, and then I just think it's going to get real ugly next December, basically a year from now, whether or not there's going to be negotiations for a salary cap and or a salary floor, and how far the owners want to take it and impose their will on some of these big contracts. It could be a rough 2027 in terms of for baseball fans. And, we lived through the 1994 strike, and I'm certainly scarred from that, and it could happen again.
I don't understand why the MLB wouldn't just immediately go and look at the NBA and say, how do we just copy paste? The NBA structure for how they use the different tiers and different taxes that come on you as you move through those different tiers, and it all comes back into the league, goes back through the washing machine, gets redistributed. You're all incentivized to have the league perform well as a whole. Everyone makes money together. To not just go ahead and use that as the sample would be somewhat foolish. Obviously, someone's making a lot more money if they have it the way it is than the way it could be if it's the NBA. and that's obviously the reason why it might stay the way it is or change only incrementally. But there's a really good model in the NBA. The NBA's come a long way. I think it was pretty shitty there during the
You're
tail
speaking
end
of
of the Kobe years.
TV money, or
Yeah, TV money. I mean, there's all kinds.
because now the play like the bargaining agreement sucks in the NBA. The way you have to let go of players now if they become too good, it's very
that makes it a little more difficult to keep the long term folks together. Certainly, there's some holes in the whole situation, but you do have to be a little bit more strategic.
A piece of the pie in the NBA.
I think getting more pieces of the pie being available to both the players and the owners keeps the incentives in the right place. Versus if it's just with the owners, then you got fucking assholes like Fisher moving your team around.
The A's were one of the highest netting teams a couple of years ago. I believe they were.
No, that was horseshit. That was not real.
That wasn't real.
There was a
percentage wise. I'm sure that it was true.
They're making a hand over foot on luxury taxes getting paid to them by the Dodgers and Yankees probably, and they're just sitting back collecting those checks, not doing anything with it. So they have to change that right off the bat. Teams that are just getting money given to them, they should either spend it or it goes back into the pool and gets recirculated, but you don't get to keep it, don't get to pocket it. I don't know if that's exactly how it works, but it better be better than what it is right now because the shitty teams stay shitty. The distribution of money is so dramatically different between teams. You have to shrink that gap.
There's a few problems here. I think baseball has done a great job with the on-the-field changes they've made recently, but they still got a lot of accounting problems with the salary cap and whatnot that are issues. And one of the problems I've seen is that the younger players, not even that young, you can't go to arbitration, you can't go to free agency until sometimes you're in your 30s. So we have all these guys that are back-ended. They're waiting for their payday, and they've been in the minor leagues for 7 years, making good money for you and me. But they're not really making the money that professional athletes should be making, especially in the Major League Baseball. So guys I think his name is Rogers' brother, Taylor Rogers. He was in the minor leagues with the Minnesota Twins. He made his first major league appearance he was late 20s, and he didn't get his first chance at free agency until just recently. You can go 7 years without being able to get a real payday. Meanwhile, you got some guys Juan Soto making $750,000 or whatever. So it's a little out there. And we talked earlier about what the NFL, how great is it when there's parity? How great is it when you just don't know what's going to happen on a week-to-week basis? It'd be really great if the Pittsburgh Pirates or the Miami Marlins or whoever had a legitimate chance each year, but they don't. And it's the competitive balance thing is not correct.
No, and baseball's always been a little bit tough on that front. Now, certainly any given day, a great pitcher can beat another team, but it is just not the same game anymore where you have that. The pitching, and I share that stat with you. You see the batting average is slumping so much now. It comes down to firepower on the mound. Whoever has the most 97 mile an hour fastball pitchers tend to be winning baseball games now. That just seems to be the point where it's just hard to hit no matter where it is. Doesn't matter if it's right down the middle, 97 plus, and you're in the MLB. And so you're buying all these players, and guys, just teams have more of them. There's not as much quality across the board, and it's not distributed fairly, and it's hard to find them.
Yeah, no, I agree. It seems like you should be able to become a free agent maybe earlier, and the team that owns them should be incentivized to keep them for longer. And there should be a little bit more parity incentivized. So I agree. You should have the Pittsburgh Pirates should have to pay up and have a salary floor. And maybe the Dodgers should not be able to, spend whatever kind of cuckoo money that they're spending and make it a little bit more of an even playing field. There's 162 games over the course of the year, and you find out who are the better teams quite easily.
There was a good stretch with Bonds and Bonilla when the Pirates were good for, a long time. They were always, perennial favorites to come out of that division. They got in the playoffs a couple of times, didn't go anywhere, but since then it's been just nothing out of that.
That's pre-Nutting ownership, Bob Nutting, the owner of the Pittsburgh Pirates, and you see it. They John Fisher, these guys, they try to get away with the bare minimum, and because you know what, they vote for themselves. These guys these are the only people that
Joe, maybe what we need to do is have a little bit more of a come to Jesus moment with the ownership in the MLB, and there needs to be a little bit of a metric that if you don't produce a certain number of winning teams as an owner, that you're out. You're gone. We'll force you to sell, and maybe the MLB needs to take a harder line on shitty ownership, and that's just where the MLB can turn the corner a bit.
I don't know why some of the guys that do spend the money, was his name Steve Cohen, guys like him, why they allow these cheap asses to keep doing this shit. I don't know. Doesn't quite make sense to me.
Yeah, it's like a good old boys club where they don't vote. It's, mafia like. Once you're an owner and you're in the inner circle, they don't like to vote against each other. It's very strange.
We got to drain the swamp somehow.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, anyway, the ugly side of baseball is pretty ugly. Beautiful sport as it is.
Can we get to the high point of this and get back to Jake's jersey? I mean, we have
Sharks up
one
6-3.
We have one of
the. These guys had 5 minutes, or 5 goals, 5 minutes into the second period. The Sharks team is fun, guys. And
fifth youngest team in the NHL, right?
Yeah, I think a lot of people, like in 2010, like in 2014, that aren't used to being into Bay Area sports, or, for instance, Sharks hockey. There's a lot of soccer moms out there that didn't really know sports. I guess they knew their kids' soccer, but they got really into Steph Curry, or they got really into Madison Bumgarner, or
mid-size SUVs. Totally.
No, I mean, there's a new generation we're watching here. I think this is the beginning of something similar to those Giants of our 20s and those Warriors of our 20s and early 30s. I think this Sharks team is going to be, it'd be amazing if they ever got to those heights. I mean, we've been blessed. But they have the makings of something very, very special. It's really happening right now.
They sure do. This Macklin Celebrini guy is like next level. Sidney Crosby, dare I say, Wayne Gretzky type of stats for a 19-year-old. It's amazing. So here's my my theory.
Hot take.
My hot take is Rick Celebrini's team, Macklin's dad, the Golden State Warriors,
trainer,
the athletic trainer for the Golden State Warriors, and I think
that means he is a doctor of medicine.
Yes, for your Golden State Warriors, I think as they fade out, which unfortunately I think that's likely to happen at some point.
Ain't nothing else happening but that.
Yeah,
2 years. We have 2 years, maybe including this one.
Although Seth Curry's here to save the day.
We're gonna have some long, cold winter nights and spring evenings watching the Sharks because they're going to be in the playoffs. And when they cross the threshold and get into the Stanley Cup Finals and win the Stanley Cup, or be competitive on that level, I think you'll see this whole Bay Area shift into Celebrini celebrators because it's going to be fun. He's really special.
He is really special, and the team around him is special. There's a lot of talent, and there's a lot of. I said this in like some really short post I did, but there's veteran guys around him, and there's a nice young core too, highlighted by Will Smith with Celebrating.
Well, we're old enough now, Jake, in our 40s to have seen the beginning of a big change in a franchise, especially coming out of, how many years in a row do the Sharks make the playoffs and disappoint? It had to be like 20 years almost of the Sharks just perpetually always just being right there, really good or at the top and never quite crossing the threshold.
Who I watched the Sharks. I'm pretty sure Joe did too, because he lived in San Jose for a long time. But I was really into those Sharks, and Pavelski and Big Joe and Marlowe. I mean, those guys were studs. And even though they didn't take home the Stanley Cup, they were a lot of fun. They made one Stanley Cup final, but they had the President's Trophy one year. They were in the playoffs every year, and they were honestly like a joy to watch. It reminded me a lot of the Barry Bonds kind of Giants. They were in it every year.
That's what I was going to compare it to. And I was also going to compare it to Run TMC and the fact that team got really big in our young trips, and they never could quite get to that next level. They could not get past the Lakers or whoever.
Right, but
the amount of years the Sharks were contenders
way more than Run TMC.
Way more than that.
A lot of
years.
Totally
understand. I'm just trying to make the comparison because after that, you have this down period.
How about you just shut the hell up right now?
Down period.
How about you shut your goddamn gypsy mouth? Why don't you try that on? Thanks. Anyway, we did get the President's Trophy. I was in LA for a big amount of that, and the rivalry was huge with the Kings, and the Kings during that time were the Giants and were the Warriors of hockey. They were that kind of young new team winning Stanley Cups. But they feared the Sharks. I mean, that was a really good rivalry. So when I'd, come in my Little Joe jersey to bars in LA, I'd get respect, but, I'd get shit thrown at me just as a Giants fan and at a Dodgers game would, which happened all the time. But I really see for people not into hockey, this is going to get people into hockey. And I didn't grow up with it. Joe didn't grow up with it. Dave sure as hell didn't grow up with it. Big Pete grew up with it, because you got to afford that equipment. It's expensive stuff.
You also have to know how to skate and give a shit about skating, which is, out of the Bay Area. We don't have a lot of snow.
Yeah, but it's funny, like to Joe's point, Celebrini grew up around, he said he would have talks with Draymond Green as a teenager, he's still a teenager, as a preteen.
Well, do the math. They won in, how long has Rick been the athletic trainer?
Since the first championship, maybe.
So it's 10 years. The kid was 10.
Yeah.
9.
He said Draymond talked to, I listened to an interview with him. He said Draymond talked to him more than anyone. Like he would chat it up with Draymond. He said Steph was kind of quiet, but very nice, and he'd just watch him work. So
greatness begets greatness.
Growing up.
Greatness begets greatness. We had a lull for the Sharks. They're back. I'm all on board. I'm going to start diving in more. I'm sorry. I'm going to full bandwagon.
Julian Pont right here. Is that a Julian Pont take?
Fool, what are you talking about?
So
anyway,
the one thing I got to say about hockey in general, Sharks are going to be really entertaining, all that. But what I want to say is hockey is the most fun to go watch live. If you haven't been to some live NHL hockey games, you're missing out. That is so amazing. I think baseball is my favorite to follow. Football is the best on TV. Basketball is also an incredible athletic event to watch. But when you go to a hockey game, you just can't believe the action. It's incredible. It's a joy to be at.
And I was thinking about all of that recently, about the way I watch games and the way I process things. For me, baseball is, I feel like I'm most knowledgeable, and I'm into every at bat. I know what's going on as far as what the pitcher's thinking, what the batter's thinking. That's just, I know the game really well. And I'm sure you two obviously do too. Football, I played, but it's more, I'm trying to, just enjoy it. I'm not thinking about all the formations and the,
there's a ton going on, a lot of strategy.
So much going
stuff.
on.
I know that stuff. I'm not a stranger to it, but I'm not trying to get obsessed with it. Hockey, I feel like a girl. I feel like a woman. I'm watching just a sport. I'm seeing a puck go back and forth, and it's fun. I'm having fun out there. I can imagine this is what girls feel
Jake
like when they
loves
watch
to be a
football.
lady at the rink.
Yeah, just a lady at the rink. Because
Just
I'm
a lady
not.
at the rink.
I've watched hockey now for 15 years, and I'm not going to pretend I can break
I
down.
still don't know what's happening. I still don't know what icing is.
Yeah, I'm not going to pretend like I'm a hockey insider. I just enjoy the sport. I see great athleticism. I know the basics. In baseball, we all know each option the pitcher has and the batter has at any given time based on the situation, which other people say, oh, this is so boring. It's actually the most interesting sport in the fucking world. But, that's for another podcast. Yeah.
The other thing I'll give the Sharks is they have great announcers. Randy Hahn and I think his name is Ruzanowski. Those dudes are super sharp. They're like, I don't know. They're a joy. I love those guys.
Drew
They also dress up in the suits, just like
everybody's suited up. It's a little
Everyone's
chilly
suited
out
up.
there on the ice. You gotta bundle.
Our boy Ted Rainey. He's out
What do
there.
you guys think? Do you guys miss the NBA coaches dressing up? We'll get a little
I
class.
do. I hate
do.
the sweat fits. The sweat fits are
I want to
stupid.
see Pat Riley with the slick back hair and a tie, looking sharp. I don't know, that did something for me.
That was
Me
was
too.
cool. But you don't need Popovich out there in a tie.
No.
I like seeing Stan Van Gundy in his wide suit, real heavy and waddly out there.
Yeah, that's great. What I didn't like about the pandemic is everybody had these all of a sudden uniform athleisure wear that they're all it was just very boring. I'd like to see, like you're saying, different strokes for different folks, but they're all wearing the same stupid sweatsuit.
Yeah,
I
if
hate
you want
it.
to throw on a tie, if you want to throw on like a Tommy Bahama shirt, if you want to throw on like a cowboy shirt for if you're coaching Dallas.
I'm fine with them wearing sneakers with their suits, kind of keep it casual in that way, but I still want to see the suits.
Mike Brown wears the Vans. Love the Mike Brown look. He would wear Vans. Okay, do you guys remember the 49ers coach from like 15 years ago, Mike Nolan?
Wore suits.
He'd wear suits on the sideline. God, that was glorious.
Guy wanted to look like Vince Lombardi and lose 12 games a year.
Still take him over Mike Singletary.
Dress where you want to get to, Jake. You got to dress where you want to get to. And for you, it's MVP of the NHL hockey season.
I want to pretend I'm 19 again, you know? Boy, Jake Lucas at 19 was something else, I'll tell you.
Don't tell me twice.
You guys experienced him. What a ride.
Yeah, that's what we'll say.
Well, I got a little kid retrospective. What do we call this when we're talking about our kids?
Nice segue. Nice transition there.
Around the horn for the daddies.
Around the world, around my girls.
Or we can go like this. Baby shark do 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 do. Baby shark do do.
My daughter made me sing that for about 6 months straight every night, and we have to do she pick all of her favorite family members and teachers. I have to go through the whole list of everybody in the world she knew.
Can you get her to do Macklin Shark? Maybe you can get her to do Macklin Shark.
You know, I need to watch some more Sharks games because she didn't quite get to Macklin Shark. But yeah, what I was gonna say is I've been reading her, these books every night, and these kids, they're into like pee pee and poo poo jokes now. I don't know if you guys have got there yet.
That's gross.
Yeah, farts are hilarious.
Just hilarious. They think it's the funniest goddamn thing, ripping out a poo poo joke. So we're reading this book.
My child thinks it's offensive because my wife complains about me farting.
My daughter laughs and says, "Oh, farts."
No, stinky daddy. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, Joe.
I read this book for like the same book. It's called "We're Definitely Human." About every night for like the last 8 weeks.
About defecating.
And these aliens, they come to Earth, and this farmer sees them, and these 3 aliens. One of them says, "Oh, we're definitely human," and the wife of the farmer says, "Oh, okay, yeah, that's weird. You look blue, and where are you from?" And the guy goes, We're European." And I tell my daughter, it's like, "Oh, yeah. What's European?" I'm like, "Well, you're European." She goes, "You're a poopin'." I was like, "Oh, I've never been prouder. This is the best joke you've ever come up with. I don't even know how you came up with that. It's on the spot. European? No, you're a poopin'."
He's got that Starkey wit already.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Play on words.
All right, you're going to be somebody someday. That's pretty good.
Out there, Joe Starkey is really good with puns and quick wit like that. That's a Starkey.
Yeah, well, she's going to keep it going.
Nice. Dave, you got anything about Adrian?
Yeah, Adrian and I have been doing. I mean, she's obsessed with animals right now, whether it be bears or any animal in an animal book. But the fun thing is I take her to bed, we sit down, we start pointing all the animals, and I started just saying, because we have an Alexa in there to play music, and I started asking Alexa to do the animal sounds for us. So I'll say, "Hey Alexa, make the sound of a bear, make the sound of a hippo, make the sound of a snake," and Alexa does them all. It's fantastic. And she's like, it helps her to like, remember the name of the animals. But now I'll be like, "What animal is that?" And she'll be like, "That's a mouse." And then she'll go, "Alexa, blah, 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 blah." And she'll just gibberish the whole thing, expecting to hear the next animal sound. And it's hilarious.
I did not.
And she keeps trying to say, "Alexa, Alexa." Alexa can't quite pick up her accent, but it is cute as hell. And I mean, it's
what kind of accent does Adrian have? Are we talking Norwegian, Portuguese?
I haven't thought too hard about it. Maybe Slovakian,
Ashkenazi accent,
Hungarian. She's half
Hungarian. Yeah,
quarter.
There it is.
Turkish. Okay, so for me, I guess I'll go with this. I got a serious life hack going for any U2, Coldplay, Elton John fans out there. My kids are addicted to the Sing movies, Sing 1 and Sing 2.
Oh, those are great.
Nice.
Sing 2, Bono is a character, and for everyone out there, Bono is my favorite singer of all time. a huge part of my life. I would lay down my life for Bono. And
Okay.
he plays a character called Clay Calloway. And there's all these animals that sing. Both my kids love music, which is great. I do too, obviously. And that's what anything that has music keeps their attention, especially Jordy. Like the kid he's already harmonizing with me and stuff. I think we're going to have to get a Partridge Family thing going soon. But so Mila wanted to be Ash, which is the porcupine character, which is played by Scarlett Johansson. I'm Clay Calloway. Mommy is the elephant, and
she's got the best voice.
Jordy is the koala, who's Matthew McConaughey, like the showrunner guy. But it's really fun now because I've been trying, like my life's work is to get my kids into U2 and all the stuff I like. So she gets so excited when the duet comes up at the end of Sing 2. I still haven't found what I'm looking for, and it's Ash the Porcupine, and then Bono comes in. She's like, Daddy, it's our song, Daddy. And so she sings the beginning, and then she's like, oh my God, it's almost your part, Daddy. It's almost your part. And I'm like, I have climbed highest mountains. And then we just duet. It's the best.
Jake, as a kid, because my dad plays music, as you know, plays guitar.
Guy upstaged me with the best Bob Dylan cover I've ever
heard. He and I used to sing like songs together, and we would duet. I highly recommend that you do that with your daughter. That you guys, take it out on the show, do a little a cappella. Unless you want to learn how to play a little guitar or add a little music to it, you should totally do it.
That's what I just explained. I just duetted with her.
I know. I assumed you would continue to do that in front of people.
Did you even listen to me? No, I'm kidding. Yeah, dude. No, I'm saying like that's all I want to do is have my kids like sing with me. So it's pretty awesome that they get to, and she also loves the gorilla played by Taron Egerton. Does a lot of he played Elton John in the Elton John movie, but he does I'm Still Standing, which I love. It's a great song.
Mm-hmm. Good song.
So we sing that together all the time. It's awesome. So thank you to the Sing movies for actually putting like great music into kids, cartoons. It's amazing. There's even weekend songs in there.
Yeah, those Sing movies are fantastic. I saw a couple this summer.
Yeah, there's a Kanye song in the first one. I mean, it's just like my exact musical taste. It's unbelievable.
In cartoon form.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Staying on the same thread, I maybe when your kids get a tick older, we started doing School of Rock. They have these like music classes where the kids get to like learn how to play different instruments. So Hudson started about a month ago.
School of Rock, the brick and mortar.
Yeah, so they have a bunch of School of Rock.
There's one.
They're all over.
Right over.
There's one on Gilman right there by you, I think. Yeah, by the West Bray Beer Garden where we like to hang sometimes.
Yeah.
The Vacaville School of Rock came out and played Napa for a Thursday night, like summer, food truck venue.
Yeah, my lovely son, he was liking the keys and he was liking the drums, and then the guy says, "Oh, why don't you try the bass?" Because he kind of go around the horn, and he kind of was not ready to give up the drums, and I think he kind of did a bit of a Jimi Hendrix or a who else would Pete Townsend type of move, and just kind of threw the old bass guitar on the floor. I don't think that was well received.
Started like stomping on it.
Yeah, I think he just didn't know what to do. But anyway, it's a really cool opportunity for them to play different instruments.
Yeah,
save it for the hotel room, Hudson.
When in my early 20s, when I moved back from college here for like a year or two before I went back to LA, I babysat a very nice Israeli family and got to know a bunch of their friends and stuff. And I did singing lessons. I coached a couple kids in singing lessons, and one of them went to that School of Rock and is now a professional piano player in New York.
Nice.
Jake knows what he's doing.
Yeah, especially with those soccer practices you used to teach, where you used to take, people's money and teach them how to play soccer since you were such a professional.
No. I only did soccer for like 3 and 4-year-olds. I'd kick the ball really far. That was in Manhattan Beach. Bunch of trophy wives. They loved it. I just tired their kids out. Me and Zach taught basketball up the hill at Spruce and what's that? Cragmont. Zach played college basketball. That was a legit practice.
I'll vouch for you, Jake. You could probably teach 3 and 4 year olds how to play soccer. I just watched that all year. So
punt.
So.
It's daycare.
Yeah, exactly.
Trophy wife daycare.
Manhattan Beach trophy wives, guys. We could do a whole podcast.
And with that,
they're not in Berkeley. I'll tell you that. different ball game out here. Okay, I feel like we've had a lot of rich topics tonight. We could probably riff on some more, but are you guys?
Let me do one quick 30-second one before we split. My Cal Bears football team this time.
Yes,
that's
a
basketball
huge
team
game.
at the beginning of the pod. Don't want to forget about JKS and the season he's had. The regular season has concluded after a real shit game against Stanford. Justin Wilcox, the coach of the last 7-8 years, got fired, and they came back and won. They beat SMU when I think they're supposed to lose. They
were ranked 15,
13 and a half points or something. So they came back and they won that game, and 7-5 going to a bowl game, and I think they're on the upswing. So I'm excited about them Golden Bears for next year and beyond.
Yeah. So as Mendoza takes Indiana to the college playoff, what do we think about Wilcox getting fired and JKS? Does he have any say in the matter? Is he going to come back for sure or not? What do we think?
I got to believe Riverboat Ron. He seems like a real intense character, and I bet he wants to win. And there's no freaking way they're moving forward if JKS really had something for Wilcox. If that just doesn't seem like a good idea. So I'm pretty sure he got the stamp of approval to move on. I'll be curious to see who they select for the next coach. I'm hoping for Taj Lepoy. He played with Lorenzo Alexander's years in the early 2000s with Aaron Rodgers.
Who's the guy who filled in on Saturday?
Yeah,
Who was that?
I can't even remember his name, but he was pretty funny. I like that guy.
Seem to like him.
Yeah, it's great. So,
but yeah, what a win!
For that.
I thought about betting Cal. They're plus 14 or 13.5.
13.5, yeah.
But I got them live, and that almost went to shit. As we saw them almost pull a Cal, but didn't happen. Nice win.
They actually have won 4 close games this year. Pulled them out.
Some big time opponents too.
Yeah. So not all bad this year. A couple ups, couple downs, but I think in general they're on the rise. Next year we'll see what we can do.
Winning record.
Yeah.
So the big game, man. I mean, that's how big games are. It doesn't matter where the team is.
Can be that way.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right.
So that's all I got.
Cool. Okay, so right before we go, let's do top 20 Scorsese movies ranked.
Goodfellas out.
All right, guys, thanks for listening to our best podcast in a while. We are the Hum Daddies. I am Jake Lucas. That's Dave Greenstein. That's Joe Starkey. Catch us live on Thursdays. You'll see me with Zachariah and Artavan, and then I believe us three, not these two, but me and Zachariah and Artavan will be at the Polymac Christmas, whatever it is, on Friday. God, got a frog in my throat. Okay, everyone, have a great week. Hum Daddies.
Keep it real. Stay out of copyright infringement. Signing off.
Daddy.
Hum Daddies.